Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Tank spell is out of time. Out of time. All right. I was like, how many time zones do we have? Did I miss anything? All right. So, unexpected stream again, and unexpected content for sure. But yeah, I kind of wanted back to some routes and trains in world, so I upgraded once again, and I made my first scenario with Rheinstrecke, where I made four. I mean, it's basically the same, just it's different times during the day with maybe different weather or whatever. And in each, we got a few services, as you can see. Now, I don't use. There's supposed to be a program that you can use for putting out your trains on different tracks and, you know, get them to go where you want them to go. However, I don't use that, so I use in-game scenario planner, and that one is obviously limited. So all the tracks available is not available. So, and that goes both ways. So it's kind of complicated to get the trains to go where you want them, and you have to consider length of the consist, so it would fit on the platforms, and so on and so forth. So it took a couple of days for me to do that. I'm gonna kill the music now. It's not necessary. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I did, and also I made a somewhat different livery for my ICE train, ICE train, Intercity Express, where I tried to replicate, you can say, the first ever livery on the ICE train that actually was made on the prototype. So now, why do I know that? Why am I so engaged? When I was a kid, around 10 years old, Märklin released a model train of this train, and it was made out of the prototype. So the prototype didn't look exactly like this, and it's just, you know, for the untrained eye, it's basically the same. But this is the first official version, but there are details on here that's supposed to be on the prototype. So the prototype had more rounded nose and bigger side window on the driver's cab. It had more, what do you call these, on the sides, like ventilation for the engine, for all the functions of the locomotive. Those were bigger, or at least one more on each, so 3, I think, instead of 4 in total on each side. And this door was between these ventilations and the side window, so it was actually forward. Stuff like that. And otherwise, the line and the logotype was in place, or looked somewhat like this. Nowadays they go all the way through the front, and it's more red. This is a little bit more pinkish. Then, of course, there are other details I could not do anything about. It was around the windows. I think they had somewhat of a beige or brown color between the windows. and the windows tinted in brown as well, but in this case it's black and black tinted windows. So there are some details on the front that I added below the windshield, uh, basically recreated what's also from the prototype, and I could not do anything about these vents in between the headlights. Those should be gone, but I can't. It's in the model, so I can't do anything about that. So that was that. Um, let's drive it. No. If I did make any changes, I don't want to save them. Yeah. Going for the scenario planner. And we're going to take a midday service going south down to Mainz along the Rhine River. All right. So I don't know. I think we got 5 minutes until our departure time. I forgot my track IR, but it's glitchy anyway, and I usually don't use it much in this. Only, when I look around, it's mainly just trying to reach levers or whatever, but right. Have the both Vipers on. Wipers, sorry. And yeah, right, this is not that one. The IFB is here. This is the cruise control, so to speak. And I'm not using Zifa, as it's too annoying for me to note the train about my presence and me being awake every 30 seconds. So we're just gonna go with the rest of the whatever they are called, safety thingies. Right, wait for service. That would be 13:05. Now let's see. I'm gonna set this one for leave the station around with 50 maybe. This 120 is active. 120. All right. Yeah, that's good. Have a little look. I think we're good to go. I'm not sure. Hang on. Just gonna. No, we have a few more things to. Yeah, whatever. It's the lights. The pantograph is up. Main breaker is closed. So I think we're good. Good to leave. I think we can have wiper set on intermittent. We are in Koblenz. This is how she looks. There's a little trademark down here with my name on it. Tried to upload it, but it doesn't work. So it's a lot of things that just doesn't freaking work in Dovetail with Dovetail, and that's what it is. It is what it is. Gonna have to learn to live with it. Just know that anything that's released prior to whatever version you're playing on is not gonna get updated ever. That's the general rule, maybe with a few exceptions, I don't know, but mainly they don't give a crap about any earlier releases. They just continue making new content, and and at some point all the routes that are made in earlier versions are going to be so outdated that it's not going to be even fun. They basically have to remake them, but I don't think they're going to do that. So is what it is. All right. I'm gonna set a few cameras here. Hang on. I think I'm gonna set this one something like this. I like to have it like this. And we got the last one, same camera but the opposite end. Oh yeah, I have these two services, so the next one we're probably going to be driving one of these but going north instead of south. So this is the first train. ICE one is the first train going south, then this one is starting like 5 or 10 minutes later. And then we have a few further on this route that are starting in front of me, so we would have trains in front of us, behind us, and all of that. So alright, so I do have the wrong, darn it. Alright, maybe it's not an issue. I just realized that I actually made I put a few controls on my Stream Deck, but I don't have that profile active right now. Since I'm streaming, I have the stream profile up. I didn't think of that, but it's not a biggie. Alright, should be able to look outside. How did I do that now? Ooh. That's not it. That's not it. Darn it. No, that's not it. That's not it. Darn it. I forgot. Hang on. That was the map. That was that. So how about... Okay. Internal cameras. I'm not gonna mess around with this. Interesting. Hang on a sec. See if I can fix my Stream Deck. So trains. There we go. All right, I think. There we go. All right, closing the doors. Yeah, we never set this one though. All right. Releasing brakes. Is the game worth it? I think my answer is the same. You know, Exactly. That's I cannot answer that actually. So I can't even answer it for my own sake. So I don't know. Was it worth it, all the money I put on this? Because that's what you do if you start from day one, which I did on the release of Train Sim World 1. Okay, I had a lot of fun with it. That's for sure. But that was usually back when you were hopeful about them, you know, advancing their content and making it better. And they do, but like I said, they don't care about old content. Functionalities and stuff will not be included in the old stuff. This is fairly new. Fairly. I think it was in the end of Train Sim World 3, possibly, just before the release of Train Sim World 4, if I'm not mistaken. So every number is basically the same game with improvements. So and all the DLCs you do have, you keep in the next one. They just have a weird way of releasing their updates. They announce it as a new game every time. It's ridiculous, but that's what they do. Welcome back, Tank Spell. We just departed, so we're good. I'm gonna get a little more oomph to it. So overall, if you find your route and if you find your train, the trains you like to drive, of course it's worth it. I mean, you don't have to buy all the DLCs, and you're probably out of time, but I think Train Sim World 5, the base game was for free for a bit. I think they just ended it a few days ago, or 1 week ago or so. Alright, let's go up to 140. And yeah, so it's how much of a train nerd you are would also be to consider if you want this or rather simrail, yeah. They don't have as much content, and only one country so far as I understand it, just Poland. But when they introduced everything, you know, they were light years ahead of Dovetail with dynamics and such for trains and signals and stuff. I mean, in general, they just had a way better start, and they were way more serious about what they do. And as I understand it, real train drivers are involved, and it's actually 2 games in one, that one, so you can be a dispatcher and you can be a train driver. Here you can only be a train driver or a passenger, which is okay. I mean, it is what it is, right? Main thing that's been bugging me through the years is, like I said, the lack of engagement of old content. They don't make any difference. They don't fix things. Bugs. For instance, the horn bug in one of the American routes. If you hit the horn, after that, just randomly you could hear the horn sound repeatedly out in nowhere when you were passing. It was a weird bug, and I think it's still around. I don't think they did anything to fix it, although I don't know 100% sure because I haven't checked on it. But it is also what it is. So I don't drive that route because it's annoying, you know. So it's just ridiculous. You should buy a DLC that you cannot use because the features or you know, the bugs are kind of taking over the whole experience. This one so far, no big bugs except for the scenario planner being very limited, and you need to go back and forth with, you need to be, have the right length on the trains at all times, and you would not get access to all the tracks on the end station, the terminus. So you have limitations there as well. You shouldn't have that, but you do. So it took a long time to get as many trains than I have. So I have 2 cargo trains going each way. I got 2 trains like this going each way, 1 going each way, so it's 2 of them in total. Then I got an ICE 3, the 3rd generation, going in front of us, and we also gonna meet the first one coming the other way. We got 2 IC trains, so 2 locomotives on each end, and just wagons. I think 6 of them, or maybe 8. I'm not sure. It's kind of a short train, but it's also white and red. .4 kilometers to the next stop. I might miss stops because I keep talking, and that's never good. No, not for now. I'm not driving trucks, thanks, Bell. They don't have jobs, so they have to let people go. I'm not one of them because I was never had a typical employment. I have someone else offering my services to this company, so I'm still provided with jobs, but it's different jobs. So today I was excavating, for instance. So operating an excavator, that's also fun. That's what I did today. Going down to 1 out of 10. 11, that's fine. Very nice. Nice train and a nice view. In winter time. Yep. I do have Discord, yep. But I have it for friends or occasional people I game with, so if someone is serious about it, I can add them, but that's how I use Discord. What are you thinking? Thanks, Bell. Yeah, so I really like this route because it's going through small towns and smaller cities. Not cities really, well, it's towns, you can say, villages and towns. It's kind of cool. Time to brake. So my timing might be off with the braking, so we'll see how that goes. Gonna do my best. Yeah, I get that. So what was your thought? Why do you want to add me on Discord? That was too short. That was too short. Not acceptable. So, actually it was exact, but I like to have the final unit on the platform as well. It happens. Okay. It's fine. I mean, you can always ask. Now you know at least how I use my Discord, so. Games I play: Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5 online, Far Cry 5 usually. That didn't work out. Nope. I was too early with the doors. It's okay. just tad too early. All right. Gonna ask what? I didn't know. I just assumed that would be of importance. If you want to add me, and I said I add people who I play with, like games. Boppard. Leaving Boppard. Don't know the German pronunciation. Boppard. Sehr gut. Beautiful. The graphics are okay in this game, I think. Cities are a little bit dead in a way. I think it's supposed to be pedestrians, but I never see them. Not sure. Anyway. It all depends on the light, weather. I would say everything looks more real in rain for some reason. Of course, if it's gonna be a blizzard, also gonna make it look more real. I like the snow, how it, kicks up underneath the wheels like that, coming like the snow dust. It's pretty cool. This one doesn't have the fastest acceleration, but to be fair, we have a lot of cars, wagons. I had Microsoft Flight Sim, but it crashed every time I started a flight. Oh, sounds to me like a reinstallation. They are kind of, Microsoft is Microsoft, so I don't know when that was, but I know they had issues before. It didn't like to be installed in other drives than C, stuff like that. They're kind of C bound. The game itself. Then you could have all your content, like DLCs and stuff, planes, third-party stuff on a different one, but it was also kind of messed up how you would set that one up, I think. The logics are not, I don't know, it's not my logic anyway, the way they are running things on Microsoft games. Same with this one. It's kind of, it's like they're trying to reinvent the wheel or whatever they're doing. It's like they don't touch any other games to, you know, have an idea of what, how the whole, you know, system would be, the menus and everything. I don't know. It is what it is. Beautiful day. Alright, that was not the best one. So at some point we should be meeting the first train coming the other way. That would be an Ice 3, I think. That one was the hardest. So the northbound ice train, the third generation ice train, that one doesn't run as a passenger train because it would mess up everything else. So like I said, I have limitations on the tracks I can direct trains to in the terminus and the last station, and that kind of and I just wanted to have that train as a train that, so I would have a train in front of me basically. So southbound it's fine, it's going just you know, like a passenger train, but then on the northbound it didn't work out. I didn't have anywhere to, you know, place it, and it would not spawn away. It would just sit there on the platform where you put it, where you direct it to. So since we have limitations of that, I ended up coming in with, you know, my whatever train I was driving at the moment, and I had nowhere to go, so I had to abort like on the next signal before the terminus. I couldn't go no further, so I couldn't get all the way to the last station. That's why I'm running the northbound, the one coming the other way, as a cargo service basically. So it doesn't stop anywhere. It stops on a siding, I think one siding, then continues basically just to occupy the line, so we would have a little more life, a little more going on. But it's sad. Otherwise all the other trains running. And yeah, I think the last service both ways is kind of a commuter train, a short one going south because, yeah, limitations once again. Only a short platform was available, and that was the train we passed when we left Koblenz. That one is going all the way to Mainz, but stopping on every station. And I have one, but far more longer one going north and stopping on each station, but it doesn't go all the way because of limitations. So I had to make it stop a couple of stations earlier, I think. That's okay. But it is kind of annoying how you can't do what you want to do, even though you have plenty of tracks, plenty of platforms, but they are not active. It's really like a ass work. Why would you leave that out? Why would you not, you know, include it? Who knows? As an active platform. DCS was also an option, but it's big. You need to have good hardware for DCS if you know, want it to be fun. I haven't been flying in DCS for a very long time. I'm just not set for, you know, relearning everything with the radar and the weapon system, even if it's the Tomcat. I could probably do it, but it would take some time. And what else? Yeah, it's about tactics. It's about engaging yourself into that. And well, I don't know. I guess I'm old. I don't know what to blame it on. I just don't have it in me to be that intense. To do, I can do one occasional, you know, pretend dogfight with anyone in Microsoft Flight Sim, but to have that stress otherwise, I'd rather not, actually, not anymore. War of Thunder. I don't know that one. I think you mentioned it before, if I remember correctly. We might have had this conversation before, or somewhat in this topic. So we should meet the first train around the corner, basically, if I remember correctly. We are a little bit late, so we should meet it earlier, but I don't know, maybe we're not that late. I mean, we don't have any timetable. I don't know why that is. I could not, you know, put any time on my stops. So basically, we just have our start time. That's what we have on each service. This is odd. I don't know why we don't meet the train. We should come any second now. Maybe I remember it wrong. Or maybe it was this tunnel. We'll see. Or maybe something happened. That's also interesting. You can have a save and it might, you know, end up in a different way for some reason. I don't know if I made something wrong. I did test run this one quite a few times and it seemed to be pretty solid. Maybe we missed it. I don't know. This is the slow part of the route, so 160 is the fastest you would go, so it's really not for these trains, but these are included. I think there are 4 services in total, evening services in the main scenario, but yeah, I wanted to include more, so I did do 4 other services. I could have done 8, but it was an overkill. It's basically just the position of the sun. It's going to be different. So I didn't want to. I want to do midday, an early morning, a late evening, and an afternoon. No, I skipped the early morning. I actually had the morning one with the morning rush, basically, and I have the evening, afternoon rush, and I have a late evening between 9 and 11, so I have something to choose from. So alright, now I'm starting to feel that something is out of place. Still no train. Oh, it's late. Here it comes. Alright, At least we know it's on route. Alright, back to 100. Actually 140. Can do that. 20 kilometers to the next stop. Woohoo! Wow! Yeah. Look at that castle up there. Whatever it is. It's pretty freaking cool. On a mountaintop. Pretty cool buildings around here. Yeah, also inside, I don't have a clue how the oh man, not the first train, but the Jesus. I hate it when I start a sentence and I realize I forgot the word. Looking for. Here comes another one anyway. This would be the other ice first gen going the other way. So the prototype, I was referring to the prototype. I have no clue how the driver's cab looked inside of that. Probably real gauges and no, you know, screens like this at all. I guess most gauges look like this one. Would be my guess. I never get to see. I never seen any photos from the inside of the prototype. But yeah. So after many years, when I was checking in on the ice first gen, I thought something was a little bit off from how I remembered it. And just recently, when I did some research, I realized that the whole nose section was more rounded on the prototype. Looked more nice, actually. It looked way better than the first release, the first official ICE train. I'm overspeeding now. 120. It should be 130 in a second now, so yeah. Whatever. Alright. But still, it's nice to be having this one. And with this livery, it kind of looks like the old one, the first, I mean the prototype. I did enlarge the side windows with some black paint basically behind it, because it basically looks like a triangle without it. So I made it a little bigger, but I think it was bigger than this as well. It came further to the front, I think. I mean, my guess is it was about safety reasons they did go with the prototype front. I think these beams are much larger, so these windows were closer connected, basically. A little bit, I think. If I'm not mistaken. It's small details, just like that. And you had, I think you had 2 windows, so you had a window here as well, and that's why which you don't anymore, why I did that extension. Oh, going fast again. I think the gray on the locomotive unit on the roof is also a thing on the prototype. The newer one, I think they were all white, just white. So I added that as well. Here comes the IC with 2 locomotives on each end, which is not really normal, but I like to have it like that. Also, they accelerate much, faster, so it's more fun to drive that one. It's not slow like this one. This one is so long, that's why it's so slow. But that one has like 6 wagons or 7, 8 maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a short one anyway. And with just 1 locomotive, it was kind of slow, yes. But with 2 of them on each end, it was a big difference to be driving that service. And also it's different in winter time. If we get snow and wet rails, it's gonna be way more difficult to get going. It would slip, wheels would slip a lot. You would have to use sand a lot to get going. And with 2 locomotives, you don't have to do that. You can just get rolling. That's why I included it. Back to 130. So this service, I think, should take around 1.5. Not really. No, hang on. 1 hour 5, I think. 1 hour 10 maybe. Kind of a long service. And this one should have the fewest stops. So the IC train, shorter one, has I think 2 or 3 more stops than this one. This one has in total I think 2 stops. 3 stops including the last one then, so something like that. But something happened. So at first I don't know if I was confusing the stations from one another. There were 2 stations pretty close to each other, just a couple of 100 meters. That's kind of ridiculous. And I included it from start, and I could not remove it from the copies. So all of these services are copies from the first one I made. So I think if I would have changed it in the first one, the copies would have ended up the same. But since I never did that, they all ended up with this one having to stop twice in the same town. Here comes a cargo train, a long log train. Oh shit, we have problem. We might not make it. We'll see, we'll see. Or maybe we will. Oh, okay, it's a long... Anyway, it's the next one after this. We're not gonna stop there, even though I think... I'm not sure if it's south or northbound. It might be the north one. I think I managed to remove it in the southbound, but not the northbound train. Anyway, so that's another issue. This one's supposed to be an express service, so I don't want it to stop twice in the same town. Just like once is enough on the biggest station. Alright, thanks, Bell. Nice of you to drop by. Have a wonderful sleep. Sleep tight. Since I've been mismanaging my speed and only a few times went too fast, but usually I went too slow, so we're probably late, so to speak. Usually I stop here for longer, like a longer hold, because we will eventually end up catching up with the IC3 train. But I don't think that's going to be an issue now, since we are kind of late, so closing the doors. Thanks, buddy. All right. Yeah, so this one doesn't have that issue, this service. We don't have to stop in the next station. We're going all the way to the end now. This is kind of a nice place. I like the valley, like the mountains all around it. It's kind of like a, feels like a ski resort of some kind. It could be close, you know, in the vicinity. And this is where people would go on their ski trip. I don't know, but it kind of looks like that. Yeah, so the next station is just around the corner, but we're not going to stop there. We're gonna have 160, so we can bump up the cruise control. 160. Let's go 161. Let's go 162. There you go. A little more power. Power, 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 power. full power. This is gonna be kind of a relief now. With the speed, I love driving fast on tracks. I love driving fast in general, but it's such a smooth experience on tracks like this. That's why I play this game. Or you could say that's why I drive this train. Not necessarily in this game, but Alright, 150 coming up, then it's gonna be 160 again. Yes, I don't know this route well enough to try it without the what do you call it, overhead? No, you know what I mean. The information. Oh man. HUD. The HUD. Down to 152. We got a red signal, so yeah, here comes the commuter. So I think we might just slow down a bit. Yeah, so we caught up, so we were not that late. Alright. It's gonna be 60. Yeah, alright, so this is another thing. Also kind of a dovetail thing. I think the first train's gonna dictate how all the other trains going to go. So they're basically their path is decided. The first trains decide the path for all the trains. And I think the first train is either oh yeah, alright, so I messed up. Alright. So we're gonna be sitting here for a while. Anyway, so the first train going by a station which is on a different track where the speed limitation is 60, then all the trains after that need to follow that. Yeah, I heard that. I heard you the first time. I heard you the second time. I heard you the fifth time, and freaking stop doing that. Man, it's so messed up. Really? Sometimes I don't have a clue what I'm doing. With these, I'm just doing a bunch of crap and then I make it work. Let's move forward. Where's the brake release? I don't have a brake release. No, that's not it. Yeah. Any minute would be good. Start moving. Oh man. Sorry about that. It's 45 maximum. Go. I think we can go up to 60 now, because that's our next limitation, speed limit. Ingelheim. Really? Oh, here we go again. Gotta love these. Gotta love these. You know what? Yeah, I don't think it's... I don't have to do anything until I really come to a stop. I don't think I can do anything. Yeah, can you stop do that now? Oh man. There we go. Oh, man. Yeah, so it's somewhat varying, which is cool. It's not exactly the same every time. I don't know why that is. So far, most of the services, automated services, have been running pretty like solid, same. No deviances, no variations. But today it just seems different, which is cool. It's nice to have a little variation. And although it's sad that it's on this particular part of the stretch, where you could have. I mean, first time I did this, I don't know, but I was not redirected to this other track, so you could go 160 all the way basically, which was very nice. So it's kind of interrupted, and I might have to look, change something to. So yeah, so it's gonna go by the platform where we're not gonna stop, and I don't know why that is. Or maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I don't think I do. I remember me going on the right track here, keep going all the way. So the middle track basically. And this is going out to the right track momentarily. So yeah. Back to 160, hopefully. I don't think we're gonna make it before we have to brake again. I don't know, maybe we'll see. I don't think we're gonna have any more issues with the train in front of us. You know, I was thinking of removing one of the stations. I think that one is actually stopping station before the terminus. That's how I set it up, just so I would have it in front of me, and it would be, you know, I would kind of know about it, because I would have stuff like this going on, maybe not this to this extreme, but anyway, so it would be noticeable that we do have a train in front of us. That was the purpose of it. So at some point I was thinking maybe I should remove that second to last station, but I just figured no, then it would be like we don't have a train in front of us, and then there would be no point of having that running in front of us, because we're never gonna catch up otherwise. And we at 160. 62. Yeah, uphill. .4 to go. Also, the so-called drive-by cam should start way earlier, because you barely see the front of the train moving by. You know, you want to kind of see it approaching. I don't know why they just not changing that. It's kind of a boom. You need to be prepared. Speed limit 100 coming up. Also, you cannot go to the other service when you reach the end of the line to take, you know, going back. That's also really bad. Maybe I need that other application or program to set stuff up like that. Maybe it works if you use that, I don't know, but it doesn't work in the game, at least, to set it up like that. Going down to 1 30. Down to 100. This is, I think, the station before the terminus. Coming up. I'm actually going to go all the way down to 40 because yeah, we're almost there, and it might just break on me if I'm not careful. Also, red usually means, I think, 30. So going down to 30 just to be safe. Yeah, so the first train was this empty unit. A unit consists with these two locomotives that went in front of us, and I think in front of the ICE 3 unit, which we see just ahead sitting. And also this, I don't know what it did, but it didn't go, it's not, how would I say, it doesn't stand by the platform with the last wagon car. It kind of coming from the wrong track. Most of the train are on the right track, or should I say the left track, but the right track for the platform. But the last one didn't quite make it in, which is ridiculous. But that's, yeah, that's what it is. That was the only way of not having it in the way for our approach with any other incoming train, and still have it sitting by a station as a passenger train would do. That was also a priority for me, to have them standing where you can see them if possible, so you would know about them, basically. That's what I would like to have in my scenarios. Should do it, no problem. All right, that was that. The next time we probably take a northbound train from here. One of the other ones, not the ICE, but the ICE intercity train, and that one would stop on have more stops than this one. And we would probably be driving it in the blizzard by night, or like late night, whatever, or afternoon rush. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching this, and I wish you a pleasant evening, day, whatever you have, and see you on the next one. Good night.